don't lack intelligence. You don't lack vision. You can see exactly what you need to do, and yet you don't do it. You wait, you overthink, you get close, then quietly pull back. And the strangest part, the smarter you are, the better you are at explaining why. There's a specific kind of suffering that doesn't have a name in everyday language. It's the suffering of someone who understands everything but can't seem to move. You've read the books, you've had the insights, you've felt the clarity at 2 a.m. in the shower, on a long drive, that electric sense of, yes, I know what I need to do. And then morning comes, and you check your phone, and the day slides away. This isn't laziness. Laziness doesn't feel like this. Laziness is comfortable. This feels like standing at the edge of something and choosing again and again to step back. Psychologists have a name for this pattern. They call it self-handicapping. First identified by researchers Stephen Berglass and Edward Jones in 1978, self-handicapping is when a person creates obstacles for themselves, consciously or not, before attempting something that matters to them. But here's what's important. It doesn't happen randomly. It's more common in people with high perceived ability, people who believe a lot is riding on how well they perform, people who, somewhere deep down, are afraid of what it would mean to really try and still fail. The smarter you are, the more sophisticated your self-sabotage becomes. It doesn't look like avoidance. It looks like research. It looks like preparation. It looks like waiting for the right moment. It looks, from the outside, almost like patience, but underneath it is something much older and much more afraid. Before we go further, I need you to hear something. This is not a character flaw. It is not weakness. It is not evidence that you were wrong about yourself. It is the mind doing what the mind was built to do: protect you. The brain doesn't distinguish between physical danger and social danger, between a predator in the grass and the possibility of public failure. To your nervous system, they feel the same. And so when you get close to something that matters, when the stakes feel real, the brain doesn't think this is your chance. It thinks this is a threat, and it begins, quietly, to protect you from it. Self-sabotage isn't the enemy of your potential. It's a signal about your potential. It only happens when something matters enough to be afraid of. People don't self-sabotage the things they don't care about. They only destroy what they secretly believe in. Here's what's actually happening inside the brain. There are two systems that govern your behavior. The first is what psychologist Daniel Kahneman called System 1, fast, emotional, automatic. This is the part of you that feels before it thinks. The second is System 2, slow, deliberate, rational. This is the part of you that reads books about psychology and understands clearly that self-sabotage is irrational. The problem is that System 2 does not run the show. It narrates the show. But the decisions, the real ones, the ones made in the body before the mind catches up, those happen in System 1. Now add something else into the picture, something called ego threat. When your identity is tied to being intelligent, and intelligence for many people becomes the core of who they are, the possibility of failure becomes existential. It's not just, I might fail this task, it becomes, I might discover I'm not who I thought I was. Psychologist Carol Dweck spent decades studying this. She found that people who see intelligence as a fixed trait, something you either have or you don't, are significantly more likely to avoid challenge. Not because they're lazy, because trying and failing threatens the only identity they have. So the brain creates a buffer. It calls the buffer procrastination, or perfectionism, or not feeling ready yet. And from behind that glass wall, you can watch your life without risking your story about yourself. This is why smart people are especially vulnerable. They have the most to protect. They've been told since childhood that their mind is their greatest asset, and so they guard it by never fully putting it on the line. So what do you do with this? Not 10 steps, not a system, just 5 quiet shifts grounded in what we know about the brain. 1. Name what you're protecting. Self-sabotage lives in the dark. The moment you name it, you begin to diffuse it. Ask yourself, what would it mean about me if I tried and this didn't work? Not what would happen practically, what would it mean about you? That question leads you to the belief underneath the behavior. This is the work right here. Psychotherapy research consistently shows that insight into the